Welcome to Invisible No More, the podcast where we explore triumphs over trauma and the powerful journeys of healing and resilience. I'm your host, Shannon Huff, and together we'll shine a light on the stories of strength, hope, and the paths we forge to reclaim our lives. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Invisible No More. This is Shielded Sisters. Welcome Heather with us today. Heather is an Army veteran.
Yes, ma'am.
We won't hold that against her, us Navy
Don't
people.
be jealous.
Don't be jealous. Oh, wow. She's just going to hop right in there. Heather, I met Heather a couple years ago. I've been trying to get her to come to a retreat for 2 years.
I've been trying for a hot minute.
Yeah, a little bit. Like
You succeeded.
Every retreat. Heather, are you coming to the retreat this time? Crickets.
I made it.
She made it to the last retreat, and we had such a great time. It was awesome. A very good it was like an immediate bond. I immediately was like, oh, I want to be her battle angel.
Yeah, I was so nervous going because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to know anybody there. But I've never been in a situation where like you meet brand new people and it's like instant friendship. It was so cool. And I was like, oh, I'm clinging to you, whether you want to be my friend or not. you're here.
Stuck. You're stuck. I tell people that, oh, you're stuck with me. I like you. Yeah. Stuck. You know.
So you're cool people.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. The retreat was good. I was very pleased with how it went and how you all have all stayed connected afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And it is amazing. It's cool. I mean, I'm really good at saying I'm going to stay in touch with friends, being military, stay in touch with people. And no, this is different. This is like deep.
The text chain is ridiculous.
Slightly.
Yeah. 5:30 in the morning. Ding, ding, ding.
I'll try to be quiet with my text.
This is a quiet text. So, first, thank you. You drove from New Glarus.
Yeah.
Good beer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People are jealous of that beer. In the snow. It's snowing now.
Yeah, first day of snow.
I told Wendy to keep that on the side of her state, and here it is. It's right out the window. Even in the middle of the podcast.
As long as it doesn't stick, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's
we're supposed to get 4 inches here.
Okay.
I know. It's because my mother-in-law's driving up from Texas.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know what that has to do with snow, but I'm sure she's bringing it with her.
Yeah.
But I was telling Wendy in the last episode, obviously this won't air, at the time, but I asked her if it was snowing there. She said, yeah. And I said, please keep it on that side of the state.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Before the podcast taping was even over, it started snowing. I was like, Wendy, you don't follow instructions well.
Yeah.
So, but that's the kind of bond we created at the retreat in October. It was like, it didn't matter what branch we served.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what our level of assault or harassment was. We all had trauma, and we're all sister veterans. We're all women veterans. We've all gone through boot camp. Some of us just picked a better branch.
You are just going to be so salty about that, aren't you?
Salty. Go Navy.
We're dorks. Okay.
Well, this should probably air around. No, this will be after the Army-Navy game. So just in case, go Navy, beat Army.
Go Army.
Okay, we're going to get into this. So you joined the Army in what year?
2006, right after high school.
You're a baby. You're a baby. I joined in 92 right after high school. So you joined out of high school.
Yep.
And you were regular Army, not reserve or
correct. Yeah.
National Guard.
Yep.
Okay. Where'd you go to boot camp?
I went to Fort Leonard Wood.
Oh,
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Yeah, that was fun.
My husband was a company commander of a boot camp unit in Leonard Wood.
Oh, really?
Back in 90.
Honestly though, boot camp was my favorite. I loved boot camp. I know.
Oh, it must have been a gentler boot camp than
it's just
back when I was in.
Oh, don't be jealous. No, I am so competitive, and I just I'm one of those. I'm like, you can't tell me no. You can't tell me I'm gonna I can't do something. I love that, and so when I have drill sergeants that are coming at me 10 times harder, I'm gonna prove it. I love that. Or a guy's not gonna outshine me. Let's do it.
So you had an integrated boot camp,
Yeah.
guys
Mm-hmm.
in your youth?
Yep.
Wow. So I was the last all-female company in boot camp in the Navy.
See, I didn't know they had them even segregated at one point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we were the last all-female company, K048. Never forget it.
yeah.
And now they all just go to Great Lakes. There used to be 3 places you go for boot camp in the Navy, and women only went to Orlando. Yeah. And I went in June when it was hot. I don't know what I was thinking, but... So tell me a little bit about your experience in the military. What did you do?
Yeah, so I had no clue what I wanted to do after high school. So mine was a very random, I guess, naive decision to join. And I knew I wanted to do something medical. Didn't know what. Wasn't sure where I wanted to go to college or what. There was a recruiter at the school, just randomly talked to me. I'm like, never even thought of it. Sure, why not? Told my parents, I was like, oh, they're like, well, wait, what? Brakes were put on. They're like, you're doing what? We're not military at all in our family. So they offered a dental assisting position for me, never even considered dental. And I was like, you know what? That actually sounds really cool. Let's do it. So, so I signed up to do dental. So, started off at Leonardwood, and AIT was at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. So I guess that's why I joined. And it was
just, hey, let's go.
It was like, I don't want to ask my parents money for college.
Yeah.
I wanted to travel. I came from a town of 800 people, so I was very sheltered, very small community. Everybody knows everyone. Grew up in a really tight Christian family home. Like, it was just, so this was a big, like, eye opener for me. It was definitely like throwing myself to the wolves.
Yeah.
I think that's why I came in so confident, because I was confident in how I grew up. Like, that's all I knew. So, but then you get thrown into a totally different environment, and then you realize how much you don't know.
Yeah. You think, oh, I'm 18. I've graduated
you know
high school. I know this. I know that. And you get there and you're like, they called me a bitch.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm a bitch? I've never been called a bitch before.
Yeah.
And all these things. And then not only that, because I grew up in a very strict Christian, conservative, I wasn't allowed to date.
Yeah.
So all these guys were asking me out. I'm like, yeah, I'll go out. Yeah, I'll go out. Let's go out.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
The
absolutely.
Drinking, the cussing, the
absolutely
everything. It was like overload.
Yeah, and I was a goody two-shoes in high school. Like, I straight A's, varsity all 4 years for basketball. Like, didn't drink, like, didn't do parties, nothing like that. And then you get out into the military, and that's a totally, like, if you don't drink, you're not partying, you're not military.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah. So that's just the environment you're in, and that's, I guess, kind of it's like that freedom, and then you don't, like, what do you do with that freedom?
Yeah.
So
and you know, I always said when I was raising my kids, they're never going to be as dumb as I was.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not going to be as dumb.
Yeah.
And not education dumb, like street smarts.
Yes.
Dumb.
Yeah. Thank God for my husband, because he's got the street smarts.
Right.
I'll bring the book smarts.
Right. I don't know. You know, I kind of bring the fun and the whatever, but, you know, it's such a cultural shock.
Oh, yeah.
So you put yourself in situations that normally you probably wouldn't put yourself into.
Right.
Only girl going out with 10 guys. What's wrong with that?
Yes.
You
and
know?
to me, I'm like, these are my brothers. These are my bros. Like,
they got my
we'll go
back.
throw them down. And that, I just thought that's how, that was cool. Like, these are my brothers. Like, they have my back, you know?
And 75% of the time, maybe they do.
Yeah.
They might have some ulterior motives.
Yeah.
I found out after I was married the first time that I was a bet.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to land her first? And when I found that out, I had to walk out of the house.
Yeah.
I was going to punch him. There was going to be a domestic abuse situation because I was just like, how dare you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How dare you use me as a bet?
Yeah.
You know?
You're not a person, you're like a thing.
Yeah.
You're
Well, one, you're straight. You know, nothing against
Yeah.
any,
Yeah.
but you're straight. You're 18. You're cute.
Yeah. Yep.
One of the few women, because we're still a minority in the military.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, you put yourself in these situations that normal people would go, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go drink. I'm underage. I'm going to trust a bunch of guys that I'm out with. And they got my back, and we'll probably all stay in the same hotel room, you know, because every weekend you go stay in the hotel rooms and, you know, yeah, we did some pretty stupid stuff.
Yeah. But that's literally what the whole environment was.
It's party.
And especially if you don't have a vehicle, like you have to, you know, like I didn't have a vehicle, which is most young soldiers don't. And so you have to rely on other people to get around if you want to get anywhere. And yeah, it's
crazy.
It's an experience.
It is. But I think it makes us who we are today.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm definitely like appreciative. And I say this, I guess this is a kind of a loaded statement. I'm appreciative of what I've been through, and I'm appreciative of my time in the military because it's definitely made me who I am today, for sure.
Absolutely. Same. I think it was, okay, you're going to knock me down hard. Like, really knock me on my butt. But I still rise, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Still I rise. I'm here.
It took me a long time, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I am myself again, because for so many years I've just tried to like suppress a lot of things and hide it, and that just tears you down. And I've always been that one, like, you know, you can't tell me I can't do something, or you can't. And I was a fighter, like I was, and I think I beat myself up for so many years trying to hide stuff, you know. And so yeah, to being able to like speak about it now and like open up, it is empowering. It's like, oh my gosh, why did I do this years ago?
Yeah.
But
it's amazing how much it helps.
Yeah.
Because like the first time I told my story, I think I threw up 3 or 4 times. Like,
I don't even remember what I said when I first told me. It was a blur. It was all a blur. It was just.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the whole incident where they came and got me, and I mean, after the military, the first time I told my story, it literally like just horrific. Yeah. Because I had suppressed it so long. Yep. And then all these memories started coming back, and like, oh my God, you know, how am I still here? Yeah. So we'll get to the point of this, since I brought up my story. You're in the military. You're young. You're competitive. You're probably dating. What happened to you? What brought you to?
Yeah. So let's see. This was my first duty station after AIT. I was dating a guy who was in the Special Forces. You know, big jock muscles.
What,
you know,
18,
like
19-year-old girl.
Who doesn't want a big,
yeah,
tough guy in the Special Forces? I think I was more enthralled than this other individual. I always dated because I wanted a family. Like that was my long term. Like I date because I want a family in the future. Definitely not his vision. But yeah, there was a night he had an apartment off base. I would stay there periodically, and he had a male roommate that he was. I don't think they were in the same unit. I don't even really remember much about him, but I mean, I knew of him from when we would hang out in groups. But yeah, we had a night where we were having some drinks, and I'm underage, so this was like one of the big things of not reporting, and I don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, you know, this perfect person, so to say. Like, I don't do anything wrong. I'm doing something wrong. I don't want to get in trouble. So we had a couple beers, and definitely I wasn't drunk or anything like that. We're having a good time. And I think the guys were feeling pretty good. And I just remember his roommate came. I was sitting on the couch in the living room, and his roommate came out for whatever reason and held a gun to my head and cocked the hammer back and was laughing. And I remember seeing my boyfriend just standing next to him laughing. And he made some comment, his roommate made some comment about, oh, you're not even afraid? And I was more pissed than anything. And there was no arguments or anything. I think they were just being stupid and trying, I don't know how or why they think it would be funny, but trying to make a joke out of something like that. So I was just pissed, and I think I was just shocked. So I just went to the bedroom and just try to get away from the situation. Again, don't have a car, so
kind of stuck.
Yeah, so I go to the bedroom just to get away because I was pissed. I was mad. And some of it, I still, I don't know. I feel like I've just shut that memory down for so long. It's like I don't remember every single piece, but I just remember, my at the time boyfriend came in and trying to be intimate with me, and I wanted nothing to do it. And his roommate came in behind, and they both decided to rape me at the same time. So it was just one of those situations. I don't even know anything that was said. I don't know. I can't recall everything. I was so shocked, and it's like, I don't know. It was, there's just a whole lot of emotions. And to be I'm actually proud of. First time I can talk about it, I think, without like fully crying about it. And after that, I just called my now husband, who we've been married, 15, 16 years now. He was in my unit at the time, and he was like one of the few people I had a vehicle, and I just remember he was the only one I knew to call, and I called him and I said, come pick me up. He came and picked me up. I think it was by the next morning, because it was like in the middle of the night or something like that. I think he came, picked me up, never went back. He knew something bad happened, but he never asked questions. I never want to talk about it. And just left at that. And I just remember the next few days, my boyfriend at the time, he kept trying to call me, and I just never answered his phone. I just left at that. I said, this is going to be put to the side, never talked about, never, it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. Unfortunately, I got something from that medically that I had to deal with forever. Soon after this instance, a couple months went by, and we ended up deploying to Iraq. So I really don't want to screw up this deployment. I want to deploy, and get there, and I'm in processing in Kuwait, and knew there was an issue. Go to the medical clinic, and my girlfriend, one of my friends, my battle buddies, she was having an issue too. So we went together, battle buddies. And I just remember they're like, oh, you have this. And she told me she had, something else. And I was just shocked. I was like, why can't I have what she has? Like, I'd much rather have what she had. It was like, it flipped my world upside down if it, as if it wasn't already. Because I thought that was done. I thought that I could block that out. Now I can't block it out. And I never, and then I had a 15-month deployment that I never pursued any more medical stuff because it was too embarrassing to talk about. Didn't even want to seek help for myself because it was just too hard.
Too many reminders.
And embarrassing. Yeah. I think the embarrassment consumed me more than anything else. There was just so much shame, embarrassment. Humiliation. Yeah. All of it. And that, I held that secret for 15 years, 17 years. I held that in. It affected my marriage. It's affected a lot. And, I'm very grateful for my husband because after coming out with this, he's been so supportive. It's helped my marriage too. Like, it's just helped me coming out. Like, there's a lot of things that are getting not resolved, but healing because I can now talk about it. So
It's amazing what that does. Like,
wow, talk about the baggage tied to that though. Whew.
yeah, like, why didn't you trust me enough to tell me sooner? I've heard that quite a few times from my husband. Like, why didn't you tell me about this earlier? Why didn't you talk to me? Didn't you trust me? I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't ready to deal with it.
Yeah.
So how could you?
Yeah.
How could you help me with something I wasn't ready to deal with?
Yeah.
You know, just let me. And he's like, well, it explains a lot in our marriage. I'm like, oh. So, you know, you and I both have lifelong reminders of what happened to us medically. You know, I get tested constantly because my assaulter had HIV. And still to this day, clean, you know, which is amazing. But
That's good.
every time I go
It doesn't make it easier.
get blood work,
Yeah.
that fear, that constant fear of what if this is the time,
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy. We've already talked through a whole episode and we're not even close to like skimming the surface of everything. So just in case a listener doesn't get to tune into the next episode, what advice would you give to someone listening that is dealing with the medical fallout of being assaulted?
That's hard. Because I feel like even my words I would give myself, I don't know if I would have the bravery right away to take my own words and follow through. Okay. I think everybody's a little bit different. It's just a matter of time where you have to reach a breaking point or rock bottom. For me, I hit a rock bottom and I could not hold on anymore. But if you have any ounce of bravery, even if like any ounce, just move forward with it, lean into it, because there are so many women that have your back and are there to support you. Because I just thought I was alone. I just couldn't talk about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, like no one's gonna believe me. It's 2 against 1. You don't hear, like, I never heard of anybody else in the military getting sexually assaulted or raped. So it was, I move forward, like and reach out. Like, I think the first thing I did was, I was wanting to inquire about help for so long. I just didn't know where to turn. I didn't know where to go. Right. And I went to there was a women's veteran retreat up north. And went to that. And then Penny, I think you were in the Iowa retreat.
Yes.
And Penny was there and she was just speaking on Shield of Sisters. And I was like, I didn't know you guys were going to be there. I was like, oh my gosh, like I so needed to hear that. And just hearing that is what helped me move forward to opening up and seeking. And medically, I'm not going to say it's still easy. By no means. Definitely not easy, but got my Shield of Sisters to talk me through and help me not jump off the cliff. So,
well, we're going to reach into that a little bit more on the next episode. One thing I want to end this part with is definitely if there is a medical problem after you've been assaulted. You're not dirty. You know, don't, and it's not your fault, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, you have to get that medical help.
Absolutely.
And I would encourage anyone listening, you know, if you think that you've got anything medically wrong, to seek help, because, you know, it could impact other parts of your life.
And keep searching until you find a good provider.
Yeah.
Because that was, obviously it's hard to talk about that stuff, but I realized straight off the bat, telling my provider, hey, this happened. clear the air, get off the tail,
Yeah.
and then they understand and they are much more compassionate. So I think if you can just open up to them, even there's a lot more sincerity, gentleness, maybe into some understanding
and support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, if you get the right provider.
Yeah.
So when we come back in the next episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about that being alone and finding others and that aha moment, we're not alone. But I want to thank you all for joining us on this episode of Invisible No More. Again, as always, reach out. You're not alone, and there is definitely a shield of sisters and a network here to help you.
Thank you for those in our Founder Circle, Walmart, Superbio, Sauk County Veteran Service Office, and USAA for your continued support. If you're interested in joining our Founder Circle, reach out to me at shannon@shieldofsisters.com or 608-344-0210. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on our newest episodes of Invisible No More podcast.